Hi, welcome to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Wahiga. If it is your first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Today I want to talk about the time that Jesus saved me from hell. I'm going to open up about the story. I've been holding it in for a while. I didn't want to talk about it because it's controversial. But let's get into it. This happened in 2015, 2016. It was New Year's Day. Between New Year's Day, jumping the year to 2016, I was at the worst of my drinking. I had just left home and I was crashing with a cousins of mine. My cousin has left. She'd gone out. And I decided to drink myself into a stupor, which I did a lot of at this point in time in my life. I'm an alcoholic. I don't remember the exact date. I don't know if it was the 31st or the 1st of January 2016 or whether it was the 31st of December 2015. I mean, the days were a blur. I was drinking so much. The days and nights all rolled into one another. My cousin had gone out and I really had made her life miserable. I was just so bad. And I came across some pills that I had stored from the rehab that I had gone to. For context, in 2015, I was in rehab for about 4 months. And in that rehab, we were given antipsychotic medications, we were given antidepressants and all that type of stuff. And when I was released from rehab, we did an outpatient program. So every 2 weeks, I would go back to that rehab and this doctor would give me medicine. Now, I stopped taking that medication, and what I would do is I ended up storing it. So when I packed my things and I left home and I went to crash at my cousin's place, I had taken those pills with me. I didn't know that. So I was just randomly looking for clothes and I was very drunk. I found the pills. And there were many of them. And I decided to OD on them. So, follow my lead. After consuming them, I thought, yes, now this is what is going to happen. I am going to now go to the other side. I'm going to start over, or this life will now end and now I'll move on to the next. That's not what happened, actually. I had attempted to take my life before and I'd ended up in the hospital. So that was August of 2015. So this was happening in December of 2015, my second attempt. I consumed the medication while I was intoxicated. And what I expected to happen was that I was going to black out and pass away. And I was very ready for it. So I thought I was done with my life. I was done with the point I had reached. I was living in a horrific limbo. I could not imagine my life with alcohol. I couldn't imagine my life without it. And so I made everybody around me so angry. I hurt everyone around me and I did not know how to stop drinking. I also could not stop drinking and I didn't want to stop drinking. I couldn't admit that I had a problem. And I was depressed all the time. So I decided this was the way out. Then my body went limp. I became paralyzed. So what happened the first attempt is that I blacked out and I woke up in hospital. And that is what I was expecting to happen to me again, that I black out and just not wake up. But what ended up happening is that my body went limp and then it went like completely paralyzed. So I was lying on the bed, paralyzed, could not move at all, to the point where my breathing was labored. I feel like my lungs were also paralyzed, if there's such a thing. So my breathing was really shallow. I was fully aware and fully conscious of what was happening to me. I was awake in a body that was not working. That is the best way that I can describe it. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. My thinking at that point was, I can't move, so I can't call anyone. I can't move. I'm panicking. I can't breathe. I was trying to turn my head. I was trying to flail my legs. nothing was moving. I was trying to move my arms, nothing was moving. And that's when I had this thought that something is terribly, terribly wrong here. Next thing that happens is that my soul was hovering above my body. So I was looking at my body from a bird's eye view. I was seeing myself on the bed, laying there, helplessly laying there, not being able to do a thing, not being able to move. And just when I saw myself bird's eye view, and I could understand that, okay, I'm looking down at myself, what is going on? Suddenly my soul descended. My soul descended into a very dark place. And in this dark place, all I can describe it as, it was measured by degrees of darkness. Like from the darkest black to, I don't even, the darkest gray to the darkest black. It was just dark. It was so dark in there. And the thing is, you're aware that you're surrounded by millions and millions and millions and billions of souls and lives. And it's like you find yourself in a pigeonhole cell. So it's like a mall full of pigeonhole cells. Not big cells that can fit a human body, but a pigeonhole. You know, like when you go to the post office and you put your letters into a small envelope box, that type of thing, where you pick your letters up from. All our souls were in small cells like that. Millions and millions and possibly billions of us. I didn't understand what was happening. It was really so dark. And I was aware that there were millions of people here. And then I started to become very conscious of the pain around me. So whichever soul was next to me, on my left or on my right, I started reliving that soul's worst nightmare. And just as you're reliving this soul's worst nightmare, your breath of air is being cut off. So it's like you're being suffocated. It's honestly like you're being suffocated, or you're being waterboarded or something. You just don't have enough air to breathe. You can't breathe freely in that place. You can't. You breathe when you're given breath. And when you're reliving someone else's nightmare, you're not allowed to breathe. So you're suffocating, but at the same time, you're reliving someone's worst tragic nightmare. So that happens. And at the same time, there's this screaming and screaming and screaming. So it's like all your senses are really heightened, but in the worst of ways. You're breathing, but you can't breathe. You're hearing, but it's screeching. You're feeling, but you're feeling pain. You're seeing, but all you're seeing is darkness. And you can't stop it. You don't have the ability to stop it. You don't have the willpower to stop it. You don't have the freedom to stop it. You don't have the anything to stop anything. And then it came to my turn, and I relived my worst nightmare. And at the same time, there was this screaming, and millions of souls are reliving my worst nightmare with me. And we all can't breathe, and I can't breathe. And just as the nightmare is coming to an end, you're given enough breath to breathe, just to get you to the next soul's nightmare. And just when we got to the next soul's nightmare, so the soul next to me on the right, I screamed out. And I don't know whether it was physically, I don't know whether it was mentally, I don't know whether it was in a spiritual voice, but I just screamed out and I called on the name of Jesus Christ. I said, Jesus Christ, save me. And that point when you're being given air to breathe, instead of taking the air to breathe, I think that's the point I just said, Jesus Christ, please save me. And that's when I returned back to my body. My soul did. And I returned back to the room and the bed and the place that I was in, where I had tried to end my life. I was back in my body. Personally, at the time, I felt like it was a bad dream. I felt like it was an attempt that had obviously gone wrong. And my body was still paralyzed. I could not move. It took me a couple of hours to start getting the feelings back in my legs, in my arms, slowly all over my body. I was crawling for a bit, and this all happened within hours. I was crawling for a bit, and then I started walking. And I would say within 6 hours I was walking after this whole ordeal. And the second I could start walking, I went and looked for alcohol. I opened a bottle of liquor. And as I looked at that bottle, I thought to myself, what the hell was that about? And I drank. Jesus Christ literally saved me from hell. That is what happened that day. Here I was. I had made the decision to end my own life. The disease of alcoholism was killing me emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. It had killed me. And I believe that I died that day. And I believe my soul went to hell. And I believe that when I was in hell and I called on the name of Jesus Christ, he saved me. The end of 2015 or beginning of 2016. And now fast forward to 2023, February. I am 5 years and 7 months sober, not craving a drink, not shaking. My eyes are clearing up. I'm accountable today. I'm honest today. Well, I'm as honest as can be. God is still working in me. I haven't thought about drinking today. I have not thought about drinking today. I don't think you understand how big that is for someone like me. That is huge for someone like me. I haven't thought about drinking today. That's by the grace of God. Today I haven't craved alcohol. When I woke up this morning, the first thing I thought about was, I think I need to go to the loo. And then, I think I need to do this, I need to do that. Do you know how many years my first thought when I woke up was, where is my drink? Where is my drink? Or where am I going to get a drink today? When I tell you God is real, there is no other way a person like me can be sober today. I don't say this from a place of better than thou, holier than thou. I say this as a person who was saved from hell itself. The things I saw there, the things I experienced there, it's not a place that I want to go back to. I'm not saying this to scare you. I just want you to think about your life. Seriously think about your mortality and where you're going after this. Jesus Christ saved me from hell, and I live to tell it. I honestly didn't want to talk about this for a very long time because people would think I'm crazy. People would say it's controversial. Things like this don't happen, or she's relapsed, or, something's wrong with her. She's being fanatical. I'm just sharing with you my experience, my strength, and my hope. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you tune in and watch the next episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, see you.